Welcome back to Season 8 of Wildcat Week. I'm your host, Isaac Wolf, alongside Bright Kari. And
Yes,
today we are joined by two members of our number 5 ranked men's basketball team. One of them, a redshirt junior from, well, we actually don't know where he's from. He claims a lot of different spots. And the other is an all-Crossroads League first-team selection from last year. These goons are my roommates. Obviously, Bright's right across the hall, so he's an honorary roommate. So
Yes,
this one's going to be a fun one. Welcome, Rocco Muratori and Caedmon Bontrager.
Thanks for having us, man.
Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank
How we
you,
doing?
Thank you.
How we feeling?
Feeling good.
Feeling fantastic.
Yeah.
So we'll get into the Huntington game to start. Obviously, took care of business on Wednesday. Shot really well. Very efficient offensive performance. What did you guys take away from the way we played against Huntington?
I mean, I thought it was really good. Like, everybody was just, I think, bought in and played hard, played good the whole game. And I think that's why we won. We were really unified. I just really liked how we were defensively throughout the whole game, just not allowing anything easy. Everything was, I think they worked for every shot they got. And I also think offensively we're just starting to click and we're just starting to get hot at the right time. So, I think we shot 60-something from the field. It was just really, really good night. And, I mean, that's the type of win that, goes a long way when you're looking to get in the national tournament. So it was a good one for us.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Cade. I think these last couple of weeks we've done a better job at just, what we kind of talked about as a team, which is creating for others. I think that showed definitely when we played against Huntington. I think defensively we stepped it up a ton. Limiting Beagle in terms of the catches that he got, the shots that he was able to get, and also just being able to just play better in our gaps and also on help side and tags and all those things was really big. So I think overall we're just really improving, and like Cade said, just really catching fire at the right time.
You mentioned Beagle. He had a really good game against us.
Yeah.
Essentially won the game for them last time we played
Yeah.
them. So what was different? What was the emphasis about how we were defending him, attacking him in this one?
Man, I think we just did a better job at just kind of I don't know if we really face guarded him at all or anything like
Not
that.
really.
But I think we just had more of an urgency. I think he gained our respect in that first game, as in terms of a shooter. I mean, I played with him before in the summer past and stuff like that, and he's a high-level shooter, a guy that can definitely shoot off, catch and shoots, and even here and there do a quick sidestep. But I think we just did a great job at just respecting his game, staying, with him on, down screens and pin downs and all that, and just having more of an urgency.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were just physical with him. We were hitting him off the ball. We were just, making him put it on the floor, every time he got the ball. So, I think that's something that we need to do every game, not just against the good teams, but something we need to do every game. But I'm happy with the way we guarded him.
So, team currently sits at 20-3, 5th ranked in the country, probably moving up when the next polls hit. What are some of the things that, as a team, the habits you guys have been seeing that have allowed us to grow and kind of get us to this point where we're rolling as well as we are and continuing to grow?
I think definitely chemistry is kind of starting to click a lot better than what it was originally. I think, this is the time frame where you really kind of want to start getting that going. January, this type of time frame is good, and where you kind of want to start peaking in that direction of where you're playing at as a team. So that way you get into, the postseason, really having momentum, being able to make a deep run at nationals. But I think, again, this week we had guys get in the gym extra, doing a little bit more work, and I think also just, again, continuing to grow our relationship with the man above and each other, through these different team meetings we have going on Wednesday. I think that's really helping us as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think the biggest thing is just the work we've been putting in defensively, every day, just pushing each other. Coaches making it hard in practice, so that way when we get to the games, it's not as hard. And also, I think, to what Rocco said, just getting a lot of shots up in the gym. I feel like I've been shooting way more than I have in years past, getting shots up in the gym. And I feel like as a team we have too. So, it's working too on the court. We're shooting way better than we did the last round of conference. So it's really good right now.
So if we go back to essentially first semester, there's the losses to Taylor and Huntington, and then we come back around, beat them both the second time. Difference was on the road first semester versus at home. What is the biggest difference playing on the road for us versus playing at home?
I think like home court advantage, like having the crowd, like that's huge. When we played Taylor, I think we definitely could feel that. There were several shot clock violations that like even our own guys we didn't even know because it was so loud. And I also think too like just home. We talked about this last year. Home court shooting, like we're playing on at home in the same gym we practice in every day. So like the stuff we do in practice, like that translates like on the court literally when we're at home. And then, being on the road, you never know what environment you're going to go into. There could be no fans. It could be a packed house. But, like, everything that you do at home, like when you go on the road, you don't necessarily expect that to happen, So it's a lot different than at home.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, a lot with what Cade said. I mean, being at home is definitely different. It's the gym where you're practicing in 24/7, where you're getting shots up extra, after practice or whatever it may be, and definitely I think these last couple of games we've had a great showing from the crowd and from the students, and they've supplied us with so much energy and also confidence as well, and being able to also just kind of get in the opponent's heads. And that kind of goes into why it's so difficult to win on the road. I mean, I thought Taylor and Huntington, when we played there the first time around on the road, their fans showed out, and I think, that was kind of difficult for us, especially because we're such a young team. We're starting some younger guys, so it's a different experience for sure playing on the road in college, and I think we just weren't used to that. And I think we're still growing in that direction. It'll be interesting to see how we do, of course. This weekend we play Spring Arbor, and then when we play Grace at their place. But I think, that's really the biggest difficulty.
What was the biggest lesson I think or you guys think that you guys learned from those early losses?
I would say I wish that we would have had like what we're doing now like earlier, like the practices and like the mentally locking in. I feel like now as a team we've been more locked in the second semester than we were the first semester. But I feel like honestly, sometimes it just takes like you have to lose those games in order to realize, and I think that's what it was for us. We lost to Taylor and then Huntington, and then we had like a couple hard weeks of practices and some heart-to-heart with the players and coaches, and then after that we went to Arizona, beat the number 2 team in the country, and I mean since then we've been rolling pretty much, and I think like sometimes you just it takes a loss, even though you don't want to, but it takes a loss to, learn a lesson. So I think the thing I learned mainly is like failure is not like it's not a bad thing in the long run. So I'm glad that happened when it did, because now you look back and like, say we won those games, I think we probably would have taken it easier this time around, and who knows what the outcome would have been, but I'm just glad that it happened the way it did.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. No, I agree with Cade. I think first semester was a lot for us, just like growing pains. I mean, again, this is a whole new group. We added in, we're starting, I think, 2 or 3 freshmen. We added some different guys, and so, with Crew as a transfer. So I think that first semester more so for us was just the growing pains of getting to learn to play with each other and everything. And then I think, as Cade just said, I think after that Arizona trip, we've kind of started to just play really well. We're really starting to mesh with each other. And I think we're playing the best basketball that we're playing right now, and that just needs to continue to be consistent.
Can you guys talk a little bit about the recruiting process and how you ended up here? But start with like your upbringing and if you ever played any different sports outside of basketball coming up, even through high school.
Yeah, I think I started playing basketball around 5th or 6th grade, and at first I just played it for fun. I didn't really take it seriously. I played, I think, football, baseball, and soccer too, going into middle school, and then I think the reason I stuck with basketball is just I started to enjoy it more. I started growing. I started going to all these basketball camps as a kid, and I started getting better, and I was like, oh, man, I kind of like this. So, I kept playing middle school. I'd say probably 7th to going into 8th grade year, I actually, like, decided I wanted to take it seriously. And from then on, it was, like, the only sport I really played. And going into high school, I just, kept practicing and playing. And I think eventually got to the point where I started getting looked at by NAIA schools at first, and then I went up to a couple Division IIs and Division I's a little bit too, and I think ultimately I was like, man, I think I can play in college at that point, and so it came down to, I think it was Indiana Wesleyan was like later in my recruiting process. I think by my end of my senior year, I hadn't really decided yet, and it kind of works out perfectly. I was thinking about going to another Division II school, and then it just didn't work out. I think I lost my offer, and then ended up actually like I went on a visit to IWU, and then I think I liked it so much. My parents all liked it so much, and then I think we all could agree like it was the perfect spot. And then I think I committed 2 days later, and like that's the rest is history. But I think like it was really like just a God thing that I'm here. The fact that like I went to Coach Clark's alma mater, Leo High School. If I didn't go there, I don't think I would have been at IWU. So I think it's all all crazy and all a God thing. And I've done so many good things here, and I love this school. So it's a great school.
So, y'all be wondering where I'm from, right? I'm going to tell y'all where I'm from, okay? I'm the 312, from Chicago, Illinois, from the South Loop, and I rep it. So,
Bro, you can't take this guy
Got
serious.
you 312.
no, but I grew up in Chicago as a kid. And
I thought you grew up as an adult.
all right, bro. But nah. Grow up in Chicago, I think for me it was awesome, man. I always consider it home, and that's where I was originally born, and still have family out there. But growing up, being a Bulls fan and everything like that was, my first jersey was Derrick Rose. I grew up watching him. He was my favorite player, and he really inspired me to play the game of basketball. Just to see, a kid from the city of Chicago make it to the NBA, that's just inspiring for anybody that lives in the city or just in general through what he's been through. But growing up in Chicago, I just really started to grow a love for the game. And then in 2010, my family and I, we moved to West Lafayette, Indiana. After the Great Recession, my mom had a business which closed down, and she ended up getting a job in Lafayette. And y'all can't take you seriously, bro.
It's him, bro.
It's definitely
I had to start owning
It's 100%. Isaac, I got you, bro. That was 100%. K, that was 100%. I saw you
look
looking.
laughing, bro. I should have started out geeking, bro.
He said that after the Great Recession.
But
And then
Bro, that was funny, bro.
no, it's true. No, it's
No,
not
I hear you, bro.
seriousness.
Go ahead.
It is it is true. The main reason why we moved to Indiana is because my mom had a Botox business, and during the recession, she had to file for bankruptcy. And so we were actually looking at losing our home in Chicago. Y'all talk about money. Like, there was a point in our family where it was really rough. And we were looking at losing our home. And so she eventually got a job as an interventional radiologist, in Lafayette. And that's why we moved here in 2010. And so moved to West Lafayette, and of course, being right by Purdue, we lived, basically on campus. And so growing up watching guys like, Lewis Jackson, A.J. Hammonds, Isaac Haas, all this, it's just hard not to be involved in the game of basketball. So, but I played, and I think I started playing in third grade and, kind of went up from there. And then high school was really where I started to take it serious. I was receiving a lot of praise as a freshman in terms of rankings and everything like that, and garnering a lot of interest from all over type of schools, whether it be NAI, D3, D2, D1. And throughout high school, it was tough, man. It was a lot of injuries, ups and downs, even now too. It's just been a lot of ups and downs, but I had a lot of heavy D1 interest, and, because of the fact that I wasn't healthy, it was really hard for me to be able to gain any solid offer at that point. And so I transferred from my original high school, which was West Lafayette, to La Lumiere, which is a prep school, powerhouse, all that type of stuff, and played there for my last 2 years of high school. And COVID hit, which was really difficult for me, and then the transfer portal rules hit, which was really hurtful for high school recruits. And so I ended up playing for Indiana Elite as an unsigned senior and played really, really well and was, again, gaining a lot of interest. Received my first offer from Stony Brook University, D1 school out in Long Island, New York. And at that point, I was committed to go play at a post-grad year at IMG Academy, and played there for about like a semester, but again, was dealing with some health issues, and so I decided to kind of sit, I think, the remainder of that season and kind of focus on my health, and then I ended up committing to Stony Brook because at that time it was my only offer. Went to Stony Brook, and it was a lot, man. Leaving, again, kind of leaving home and having to adjust to a different background and everything like that, and a different school was a lot. And just a lot happened there. I'm not going to get into all the specifics of it, but there was some stuff that went down over there that I wasn't comfortable with, in terms of how they were dealing with my injury there. And it prompted me for wanting to be able to leave and kind of get back home after I got operated on. And I was looking for a place that was just close to home, to be by my family, to be by my friends and my support system. And shout out Jordan Delks. He was really honestly the reason I heard about IWU. He put me in contact with Coach Tonagol and Coach Clark, and was able to form a solid relationship with both of them, end up getting the offer here to play. And of course, not being able to play that first year was tough. And, now finally getting back after such a long time off, playing in 8 games, and unfortunately, freak accident, getting hurt again was tough. But even in the time I was playing, it's been a joy to be here, and it's been a great transition so far.
We got 2 boots on set.
Mine's not on camera, is it?
It's on that one. But update the people on your guys' status, what happened.
You go first.
So I've played in, I think, 3 games this season. I always say 3, but I feel like it might be 4.
I'll
Go ahead, check that. I think, because I know I played the game I got hurt, the Goshen game, Shawnee State.
St. Thomas.
Did I play St. Thomas? St. Thomas, and then I don't remember if I played FMU.
Yeah, you got 4.
4. Okay. So I played in 4 games this year. I had a concussion before the season started, so I missed the early part of the season. Played in 4 games. I think still like not too many minutes in each game. I'm still working my way back from
12.3.
Huh?
12.3 minutes.
Yeah. So I was still working my way back, a couple different injuries. And in the Goshen game, tried to contest a shot, ended up getting a foul. I didn't think it was a foul, but ended up getting a foul, rolled my ankle, and we thought it was just a sprain, so we treated it as a sprain for a couple weeks. And after some time, it wasn't really getting better. Went and saw a specialist, and he told me I tore my retinaculum and had to be operated on. So on December 26th, got operated on, and he thinks best case is 10 weeks, absolute best case, which puts us at national tournament time. So, there's a very, very, very slim chance that I get to see the floor again this year. But, slim chance is all I need, so.
Well, we got one thing in common besides the boot. We both got injured against Goshen, so that's always fantastic.
Out of Goshen,
Out
too.
of all games, bro.
Right.
But they played us really well. I can't lie. But no, it was a weird incident. It was my 8th game back, and I was really just starting to kind of ramp up in minutes. Playing between maybe 10 to 15, and was really kind of getting my groove again and playing some really good basketball. And as soon as I checked in, dang near, I would say so. It was on a defensive possession. One of their guys had their foot completely planted on mine, and I was trying to move my foot out from underneath his. And as I was doing that, I felt my big toe hyperextend. And so I was out last week from classes and everything, trying to figure out what was going on. There wasn't a break or a fracture, but that always kind of signalizes to me, that there might be something soft tissue or ligament-wise going on. And so thankfully, my mom being a doctor, she was able to get me in and, get some x-rays, set up a podiatrist appointment, all this other stuff. So, but I ended up finding out it was a grade 3 turf toe. I completely tore the plantar plate in the bottom of my foot. So I'm actually looking to get operated on here actually very soon. That will put me out for about 4 months, but honestly, as much as that sucks, it isn't that bad of a time frame. We'll be out, mobilized for about 4 weeks, and then the process from there actually gets easier. So
How difficult was it for you getting back playing 8 games after I think we determined it was like 2 full years since your last game.
Yeah, I mean, it was I know
Man.
it was it was tough. I would say, after the injury, mentally I was just, as you could tell, I was just frustrated. I was upset because I was really starting to find my groove, and I love the game of basketball. Like, again, this is what I hope to do, when it's all said and done. Hopefully for a little bit as a professional, because I wasn't one of those tall kids that was forced into the game. Like, I truly do love it, and I try to play with that passion on the court. But no, it was frustrating. I remember having conversation with my mom and my dad, and I'm like, why is this happening, all of a sudden right now? I mean, I just got back from 2 years off, and now I have to go through the same process, again, of having to, get surgery, sit out the rest of the year, all this stuff. So, but I think my mom and my dad are more kind of surprised at how well I'm handling it. I remember my specialist appointment when they told me I needed surgery because, I mean, I'm an athlete, and what I do, it's more than likely. So, but I handled it very well. I mean, I just told the guy, I was like, listen, when is the quickest I can get on the operating table? That way I can start this recovery process and get back. And I'm looking to get back probably around end of May, probably early June. So, yeah.
Now, Cade, you can't relate to these guys because
You're Iron Man.
you're Iron Man. Like,
Yeah.
What do you do to keep your body like injury free? Like, you only had the concussion and then that sprained ankle in the scrimmage this year.
Yeah.
Like, is there something you do to or is it just the way you are?
Nah, I think that's just the way I am. I think I've just been blessed with I don't know, just I think genetics. Honestly, I just I've never had a serious injury. So I mean, and I thank God for that. Because I know hearing these guys' stories, it's it sucks and it's horrible. But I think just part of the way I play and the way my body's shaped. I think I've never really been put in a situation where I've had that. I don't know.
He basically saying we frail.
No,
Essentially, bro goes to bed at like 2 a.m. sometimes too.
yeah, I mean, honestly, I really don't do much.
No.
It's just how I am. But I think if I want to play basketball for a long time, probably start doing some recovery and stretching. So
This guy barely stretches.
yeah, I don't stretch either, bro. I need to.
Bro be
though.
doom scrolling, man. Give me on
Yeah.
this. Give me on this.
Hey, spiritually for you guys, can you talk a little bit about how your faith has kind of grown in your time here and as a team? What do we do for spiritual development that you appreciate?
Yeah.
You got heart checks at 11 a.m.
I would say
Heart checks with Jake. Shout out Jake.
I would say since I've gotten here, I feel like I've matured spiritually, physically, and mentally too. I've just really felt being here, the coaches, they really implement faith into everything they do, and so I think through the game of basketball, I've been able to see myself grow as a person too. I take a lot of the stuff that they teach us in devos in the locker room. I've applied it to my life, and I think I've really started to see a lot of growth on my end. Even in my voice too. I came in, I was just a super quiet kid, and now I feel like I've had more of a voice, especially on this team. So I think that's just the biggest thing is, and I mean that's what I told the coaches too when I, sat down and they asked me what I want if I come here. And I said, I just want to grow as a man and as a leader. And I feel like I've done that in the 4 years I've been here. So I think that's the biggest thing for me is just, I put my trust in the coaches, and I put my trust in the Lord more importantly, and I think I got a lot out of that. So,
Yeah, I would agree. I think one of the biggest things for me coming into Indiana Wesleyan and the recruiting process here, like Cade said, I think in college sports we lose the sense of being able to grow as an individual with how much money and everything is involved, and it's really superficial. And one of the things I was looking for was more so just being able to, as Cade said, grow as a man and grow most importantly in my faith. And when discussing with the coaches about how they implemented faith in here and everything like that, I thought that was really cool and really important, especially because that was an area I wanted to grow in, and I was growing in that as, I was at Stony Brook. And so But it's been awesome to be surrounded by them because of the leadership that they have in that department. And I think also, just being around the guys, everybody is just growing or at different spots in their faith journey. And I just love the support that everybody shows each other in terms of helping people to grow in those habits and to better themselves in that department.
Kate, you've been here for 4 years. And so talk about I am third and fearless. Those are two of the mantras that our program uses. What are some of the main takeaways you've had from those in your time here?
I think from I am third perspective is just what I've taken away from that is like, just to be servant-minded, whether that's on the court, off the court, like just being willing to sacrifice what I want for the sake of others. And I think that really is one of the biggest things that I've taken from my life to like my home life, and like whenever I'm outside of the school, like I've just had that mindset, and I think it's really helped me. Like that's how I shine my light to others, and how I share my faith is just through that. So I think that's like one big thing that I'll take here from for the rest of my life is just that I am third mindset. And then fearless is just like I talked about earlier, like doing things that are uncomfortable, like getting uncomfortable. We talk about it all the time in the locker room, and I think for me, like getting uncomfortable was like using my voice to speak my faith and to speak to my teammates, and like I think that's just the way I've grown tremendously, is just being able to speak what's on my heart and what's on my mind to my teammates, and them being able to hold me accountable too. So.
And then Rocco, for you, what's the biggest difference from a public university like Stony Brook versus, or I guess secular? Are they is Stony Brook technically private?
No, it's public.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest difference between Stony Brook public institution versus here private Christian institution?
Yeah, Stony Brook is the biggest public university in the state of New York. It's like 26,000 kids. It was primarily, I think, a commuter school, though. But I would say it's a lot of things, Definitely the community aspect is way different. You're not going to get that. At some schools, yeah. But, Stony Brook specifically, because it was a commuter school, there wasn't much of community like there is here at IWU. IWU is a school of, 2,000 kids, and there's more of this, small town, I think, kind of aspect where, everybody knows everybody, and everybody has pretty solid relationships with each other, and all that. I would definitely say one of the biggest things I've noticed is also, diversity is another one. Stony Brook was just, a whole different plethora of people and everything like that. And here there's very similar individuals in terms of that like-minded Christianity, everything like that. So I would say that has been one of the biggest differences I've known. But I think, more than anything, it's just that community aspect, the professors, just the regular students here and the interactions I've had with them. They've been so incredibly supportive of myself and also our team in terms of just our journey as, a squad and my own journey, and supporting us, praying for us, stuff like that, and all that we do. So, yeah.
Random question.
Oh, gosh.
I want you each to tell me who on the team you enjoy playing with the most.
I would say probably DJ Moore. I've played with him since my freshman year, and he's just grown into a tremendous leader, and he's just always 100% playing hard. So I think that's a guy that I've enjoyed playing with in my time here, just so consistent. So
I would say my boy Isaac Andrews. Shout out Isaac, man. I love the composure that he has. I think he's really kind of growing into also just being a creator for others. But I just love his composure, the ability to stay, just calm, cool, and collected in every single moment of the game. His ability to create for others, I think, is incredibly special, and it's been awesome to play with him, even in the 8 games that I've been able to. And I just love that about him. And I think he's grown so much as a leader this year, vocally. I think we can all agree on that. He was very shy last year, but I think this year he's really stepped up in that department in terms of not just leading guys on the court, but I think more importantly, as we can all recognize, off the court. So I think that's been awesome to see from him.
Cade, what is your favorite memory from your 4 years with the program here?
Oh, man. I have a lot. I would say I would say my sophomore year, that whole season was amazing. It was fun. I'd say, like, probably just like the locker room celebrations when we'd have the football team come in.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember specifically what game that was. I think it might have been the round of 32 national tournament game.
They did it. I think they did it a couple times.
We did it several
Because I
different
feel like
times.
Marion was one of them.
Marion was one. I think that was freshman year.
Okay.
And then
on
senior night. And then I think it was after we punched our ticket to Kansas City my sophomore year. Just a huge locker room celebration. Those were always fun. And, yeah. And, I mean, this year's been fun, too. We've had several locker room celebrations, some big wins. But that's one big memory I'll take away from here.
Rocco, you've seen a lot in your 2 years here. What's your favorite? What stands out the most? Is there a particular story that you can
remember
elaborate
where
for
this
us?
is going?
I know where this is going, so I'm being very cognizant of that. I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's been like anything in particular. I think just what stands out to me the most about being here for these 2 years so far is I think just the relationship aspect. I mean, the relationships I have with you guys, I mean, that'll last hopefully a lifetime, because it's been an absolute pleasure to be able to get to know everybody on the team and even people here at the university, and just being able to really get to know people and just develop these relationships has been beneficial. And it's just been an absolute joy to share laughs, to create memories, whether it be in the dorm or the locker room or on the court. And it honestly, there'll be times where I think about those memories from day to day and it brightens it up. So, yeah.
So what are you most looking forward to, like the back half of the season? You're going to be away from the team for a little while.
Yeah.
We know you're going to be an All-American, National Player of the Year candidate. But, like, just to close the season, we got 4 more weeks, all of us being together, or 6 more weeks maybe. I don't know how long. Something like that. It's anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks.
Still like mid-March.
Yeah. What are you most looking forward to as we get ready to wrap up the year?
Man, I think, first of all, this has probably been like one of the fastest seasons I've ever had. It's just gone by so fast.
Definitely.
But I'd say I'm looking forward to like the run we're gonna go on, whether that's in conference tournament or the national tournament or both. Like, this team's catching fire real fast, and like I saw how the postseason played out last year for us, and I mean I thought we won some really good games, and I think we can make another huge run this year, especially with the guys we have, and so I'm looking forward to. Definitely the national tournament for sure. But, obviously we got to take care of business first still in the regular season. But we've done really well so far, and so, I'm proud of our guys.
Well, it's going to honestly suck being away from you guys for 4 weeks. I'm going to miss y'all, in all honesty. But I think what I would, want you guys to do more than anything is to just – as Kay just said, take it day by day, focus on one game at a time, finish the regular season out strong, and then when it's time to focus on conference play or conference tournament, focus on that, and then when it's time to focus on the national tournament, then focus on that. But I agree. I believe we're catching fire at the right time. We're playing really good basketball. It's just all about consistency at this point, and even in the moments which are tough or might be negative, being able to kind of just bring it back in and, let's be positive and just move forward and build upon this stuff. So that's really about it.
Cade, quickly preview the Spring Arbor matchup for tomorrow. This episode will come out after we play Spring Arbor tomorrow, but
so when you're watching this, we've already won the game.
Right.
Yeah. So, Spring Arbor's tough, especially on the road. They're slow. They like to grind it out. They make you I don't know. They make you think for sure. But I think if we come out defensively, work on getting 2 feet in the paint. It should be a good game for us. It's always hard to play at Spring Arbor for sure. So, yeah.
You got anything else?
Yeah, just want to shout out a couple people that helped this whole thing come together. First of all, shout out my boy Peyton Bird. Got to shout out the realest.
13 right here.
13. Come on, man. Yeah. Gone but never forgotten.
Now at you, Pike.
Shout out D1 Pruitt.
Shout out D1 Pruitt. Shout out Trayton Fisher, bro. Shout
Trayton
out guys,
Fisher.
Man. Hope y'all doing well, for real. We miss you boys. We miss y'all. Seriously. We hope y'all doing well.
Shout out my core freshman group, Luke Einfeld, Johnny Jameson, and Javen Buchanan. They all doing their thing this year, hooping.
Shout out to those guys. Shout out Nathan Reap.
Hey,
Facts.
shout out Landon Beagle, shout out Tate
Shout out
Metzger,
Landon
shout out Cam
Beagle.
Carr, shout out Ibrahim, shout out Joe, shout out the UK boys, man.
Brotherhood.
Shout out the brotherhood, bro.
CTA brotherhood, man.
Compete mentality, man. That's how we roll, man. That's what we on. Type, man. Come on, bro.
Shout out Hud Black. He the only roommate not here.
Yeah, shout out our managers.
Yeah, shout out
Shout
out
out
Jacob
man.
Frazier,
Shout out
shout out
Frazier,
Isaac
Graydon.
Wolf, shout out
Graydon,
Hudson.
I'ma shout you out
shout out
too.
to Sherm, we
Graydon,
all
I'ma
know
shout you out too,
Graydon
even though he
Henson,
playing right
man.
now.
Shout out
This
Graydon.
is Sherm.
Shout out Graydon, even though he playing right
Boy,
now.
bro.
Shout
Say
out
that.
shout out
Definitely
Josh
get that.
Burks. Shout out Josh.
course.
Come on, bro.
Yeah,
Josh
bro.
can't get no
Shout
love.
out Josh.
Come on, bro.
Shout out Josh.
Josh
bro.
brought
Shout
a
out
crowd to our
Josh.
intramural game
Come on,
last
he
night.
the only one that had heart yesterday.
Shout out Josh, flagrant foul.
Shout out our
Marion
intramural
Titans,
team.
man.
Huh?
The Marion Titans.
Shout out the Marion
Vinci,
Titans
Jay
intramural
Hill.
team. We bouncing back. We gonna win the
Cole.
league.
Yeah, straight
Shout
belt
out
last
J-Rob.
night. We
Zay.
gonna bounce
You
back.
got us yesterday, but we gonna come back.
All right, bro.
Shout out Cliff. Shout out Matt.
I need to shout out DJ because apparently I owed him.
Shout out
an
DJ
appearance.
Moore,
You
captain.
can say that. Never mind.
Anybody else? Shout out B Kane. Gotta give B Kane some love.
Hey,
Can't
show up
guard
to a
me.
game,
We
bro.
need-
Show
Right.
up.
need you for our
BK
intro
can't
team,
guard
bro.
me.
Show up to the game.
Right.
Show up
We
to
call
the
him
game.
B.
Shout out B Kane. Anybody else we forgetting?
No, I think we're good.
That's it.
Shout
Everybody.
out
Cool.
Coach Greg Tonigal and Coach Jeff Clark too. Two
Yeah.
of the goats, man.
And Coach Caleb Mutai.
And yeah, Coach.
Gotta show love.
How could I
Inspiring
forget?
stuff.
Hey,
Gotta show love.
and one time for the other coaches, Do back in the day.
Facts.
Shout out
David
D.O.
Osborne, Coach Chris Smith.
Soof, bro.
Shout out Sue.
you gotta
Man,
shout out
me
your brother.
and
Shout
Sue-
out
Coach, me and Sue
Coach
texting right
Doug
now.
Smith.
Shout out Sue.
Can't sleep on Coach Doug Smith.
Coach Doug.
Shout out
Real
Coach
ones
Doug.
know. Man, doing this thing in
Noah
Southern Wells.
Smith.
Noah Reed.
All right,
No,
now
Now we're just glazing.
now
Now
we're
we're just glazing. Now we're just glazing. Like, bro, now we're just
I
glazing.
can't show
right.
love to Lil
Now we're
Reed.
just glazing.
Yeah, hey,
And
Don't
that'll
cut-
be it. That'll be it for episode 8 of season 8 of Wildcat Week. We will see you guys next time.
Oh, God.